spotlight is on me. Okay, welcome to the celebrating session of ReaDiscovery Toastmasters. We are hitting a century today, and it's no coincidence that we have a cricketer manning the show today. And it also happens to be something to celebrate for me, apart from the Toastmaster session. I'm supposed to have been born on this date in the 1960s. Let's leave it at that. Let's not get specific about the year. Thank you very much, CGD. And in a typical Toastmasters session, we start with the mission of the club, which asks the president to read out as a presiding officer after I finish. But there are some ground rules. If you're using any sound making device, please make sure that they're on silent mode, and also keep your videos on as much as possible, but not as a hindrance to someone who's speaking while someone is speaking. And we don't generally speak or propagate three topics on this during this session, which is sex, religion, and politics. And because the president is also the Toastmaster of the day, I would like the president to start with the invocation and then start with his presidential address, and then take the first session forward. Before that, let me take a moment to introduce Toastmaster of the day, who is one of the youngest members in ReaDiscovery Toastmasters, but who has made rapid progress after joining Toastmasters. Not that he was not making progress otherwise, but within Toastmasters and using Toastmasters, he has progressed tremendously. A keen sports enthusiast who is on the ACC panel of umpires, he's a scorer, he's an event coordinator, a doctorate in event management, and administrator with Oman Cricket. Apart from all the other things, he's also a wonderful human being, like many of you are. I mean, all of us are. I don't want to single out him as the nicest human being. We are surrounded by nice human beings, and he's happens to be one of those human beings who is always ready to help. Service with a smile is his motto. And today he's ready to serve as the Toastmaster of the day and also as the president. Let's welcome our president come Toastmaster of the day, DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster, Kapil Venkatachalam, Dr. Kapil Venkatachalam.
Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Shreeranam. Let's start off with the mission of Toastmasters Club. We provide a supportive
and
positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Now, we take out 2 minutes of our time to officially celebrate Distinguished Toastmaster Shreeraman Sir's birthday. So let's all celebrate by singing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Shreeraman Sir. Happy birthday to you. We are an advanced club where we talk about book reviews, movie reviews. So it's a different kind of genre from the normal Toastmasters settings. Humoroids, I know, have a completely different genre from the normal Toastmasters sessions. Having attended 2 or 3 sessions, and I'm still learning the role of Roastmaster. I need a lot of training, but that's what we are trying to achieve also. If you see, most of our members are dual members who are already members of other clubs. So the focus or the vision towards the DCP was never there. We were more into engaging and learning together. We want to celebrate this because it's a marquee session. Not every club achieves 100 sessions. Despite the breaks, despite the speed breakers, we have managed to reach 100. I can only say that many more to come. Just like how we wished Shreeraman Sir that many more birthdays to come, the same way, I hope that ReaDiscovery sessions, many more to come. I take this time and opportunity to thank our club coaches, Toastmaster Chandana and Toastmaster Sajid, who have been encouraging and pushing us and cajoling us to continue and have sessions, because their viewpoint is absolutely right. Unless you have sessions, there'll be no members. I'm not marketing the club, but it is just expressing what we have been going through. It is wonderful to have our club load director also attending the session, and I actually called him around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and he responded immediately. Even if you had not called, I'm attending the session. Thank you, sir. And it is our honor that we have you on board to attend the session. Before I move further, we have some guests and we have some family. So I start off with the family. Distinguished Toastmaster Ramanujam, please introduce yourself and what is your opinion about ReaDiscovery now that you've been associated for more than a year?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day and President of the Club, Distinguished Toastmaster Kapil. First of all, thank you for the invite. And as you rightly said that not many clubs sustain, specialty clubs sustain 100 meetings. So this shows the resilience and this shows the commitment of the club leaders and the members in carrying on the legacy that what they intend to do always. Having said that, I always feel that Toastmasters is a place for experiment because you don't get a chance or a platform to experiment in a real life situation. Normal club meetings is one type of experiment and specialty club is another type of an experiment. So if you want to garner the skills of, I'll not say as a review, but garner the skills of giving a feedback on a detailed basis. And I think ReaDiscovery is a place where you can try to get those skills. Again, I always say that quantity does not matter. It is just only the consistency and the quality of the meetings will take the flag higher and higher. And I wish more celebration meetings and more celebratory memories during the meeting forever for ReaDiscovery. Back to you, President.
Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Ramanujam, for that. We have a Toastmaster all the way from 009714. Abu Dhabi, Toastmaster Anuradha. If you could introduce yourself.
I'm Anuradha Sharma. I'm from Abu Dhabi. Our Toastmaster club is called Humoroids. And I've been in Toastmasters only for about since October, actually. And I'm really enjoying all the sessions and I'm trying to, attend sessions even elsewhere other than just Humoroids, because I really am learning, because every session is a learning process for me. So every session that I attend, I get to learn something new. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, indeed, sir. It is 009712. I was just making sure everyone was awake, including Toastmaster Anuradha. Even she was caught off guard. Okay, to take the session forward, we have a segment which has been conveniently borrowed, stolen from Humoroids. It's called the QK, the father of PJ. So I jump into it straight. Name a vegetable that has rhythm inside. Except Toastmaster Anuradha, who already has most of these questions answered, unless she doesn't remember.
I don't remember all of them.
Oh, fantastic. Sorry?
Drumstick.
No, beetroot.
Oh, okay. Beet comes from drum, no? You can't just beat without drum. Okay.
My spouse wants me to be an archaeologist now. Why?
Wants you to dig gold. Dig for gold.
Because her life is already in ruins. Why is dark spelled with K, not with C?
Because you can't see the dark.
Correct. Did you hear about an Italian chef who died? What did they say?
No, the question my system had.
He passed away.
Passed away. Okay.
What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. What does TBH and IDK mean?
To be honest, I don't know.
Same there. What comes after S in English? H. What kind of tea is hard to swallow? Reality.
Property.
Reality. What do you call a man who can't stand? Neil. Neil.
Okay.
When does a joke become a dad joke?
Nobody
When
laughs.
it becomes apparent.
Okay, apparent. Okay, when it becomes apparent.
Why do fish live in salt water?
Because they can't live in sugar water.
No. Because pepper makes them sneeze. What? Because pepper makes them sneeze.
ठीक है, बाद में घर पे जाके समझा ना.
I'll get you. Have you heard of Murphy's Law?
Yeah, I've heard.
And have you heard about Cole's Law?
Yeah, I've heard that also.
It's a thin sliced cabbage.
Okay,
Coleslaw salad. For those who are left wondering. Have you heard the one about the jump rope? You know what it is? Jump
I
rope?
skip that.
Yeah, never mind, just skip it. What do you call bears with no ears?
Bears with no ears.
B. BEARS, so no ears.
Genius over here.
I told you I'm still learning. So I think I've tested your minds a lot. So to relax you a little bit, I request Toastmaster Anuradha to present her book review on the laws of human nature. Toastmaster Anuradha, the stage is all yours.
Can I share the screen?
Yes, you can. For all those who are interested, you can attend Humoroid sessions. They meet alternate weeks online, and you can collect a lot of QKs.
Can you see it?
Yes, all clear. You can go into the presentation board.
Just a minute, I'm clicking.
That's right.
I'm a little slow, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Every year, the International Booker Prize chooses 15 translated books for their long list. They choose books written in any language which is translated to English. In 2022, Gitanjali Shri and Daisy Rockwell won the International Booker Prize for Tome of Sand, which I loved thoroughly. This was originally written in Hindi as Ret Samadhi. I've been reading all the 13 books in International Booker as well as Booker for the past few years now. The Booker Prize follows me on Instagram. The 13 chosen books of this year are Solenoid, author Mircea Carterescu, translated from Romanian by Shan Cotter. A quote from the book, "Why am I here? Why does my mind like a loom weave the world? What does all this mean? Why can't my hand pass through walls or the hard surface of the table? Who locked me inside this demented fabric of quarks and electrons and photons?" Now, in physics, solenoid is a device that creates a magnetic field when current passes through its coil. Hence, solenoids are kinds here, that is here in particular, solenoids are a kind of a portal for the protagonist to escape from the communist Romania, levitating into a dream world. The narrative is centered on a disillusioned school teacher who once aspired to be a writer. This 800 plus pages book, surreal novel that is a story that oscillates between his present life as a teacher and his childhood memories and his surreal dreams. Eurotrash, author Christian Kracht, translated from German by Daniel Bowles. A quote from the book: should one ever succeed in interrupting the cycle of history, one should influence not only the future, but the past as well. This is a small book packed with depth, humor, and heartache. The story follows the narrator and his ailing mother as they embark on a journey together. Their relationship is complicated, shaped by a past that is as unsettling as the present. The mother, struggling with dementia and alcoholism, carries the weight of old wounds, while the son navigates their shared history with a mix of tenderness and frustration. It's a tough read, but one that lingers long after the last page. I got a book hangover. Reservoir Witches, author Dalia de la Cerda, translated from Spanish by Julia Sanchez. A quote from the book: in your own home, nowhere is safe, nowhere. Being a woman means living in a state of emergency. Reservoir Bitches confronts the harrowing reality of femicide and violence against women in Mexico. Through a raw storytelling, it sheds light on systemic issues which also amplify the voices of women who resist, survive, and reclaim their agency. It's a powerful, unflinching exploration of deeply urgent topic. The Book of Disappearance. Author Ibtisam Azam, translated from Arabic by Sinan Atur. A quote from the book: do you know what it means to spend your life waiting for those who left to return? You wait your whole life and keep talking about the past, but the past grows bigger and devours you. The novel tells the story of Allah, a Palestinian freelance cameraman, and Ariel, an Israeli Zionist journalist. Although the novel centers on Allah and Ariel's friendship, it resonates with a profound and far-reaching message. Ariel, the narrator, is haunted by Allah's sudden disappearance, and his presence looms large throughout the novel. A deeply introspective and powerful novel, this is a must-read for those interested in stories of resilience, loss, and the impact of history on personal lives. Hunchback. Author Sao Ichikawa, translated from Japanese by Polly Barton. A quote from the book is: when I read a book, my spine bends, crushing my lung, puncturing a hole in my throat. When I walk, I bang my head to live. My body breaks. What is the difference between taking life from a body like that over a body that flourishes to exist? The protagonist, Shaka Izawa, has myotubular myopathy, a rare genetic disorder. Her spine is S-shaped, making it difficult for her to sit at certain angles. Shaka is an independent thinker who studies, tweets, and shares her writing online, challenging conventional expectations. Though short in length, Hunchback is a powerful and deeply introspective read. It delves into Shaka's emotions and experiences with honesty, portraying her frustrations and her resilience. Sao Ichikawa, the author, is also a disabled person. There's a Monster Behind the Door. Author Gail Bellum, translated from French by Laetitia Saint Lubert. A quote from the book is: anyone who swallows orange pips will feel them start to grow inside their body, and they'll end up becoming orange tree themselves. That's the way it is, and that's that. Now, this quote you remember because I'll tell you what the whole book is about. Set in the 1980s reunion, a striking literary debut that is humoresque, picaresque tale. It is a novel penned by a reunionist woman. This coming-of-age tale gives a rare voice to a child growing up in a dysfunctional and neglectful household on the French island of Reunion. The unnamed narrator, a curious and a sharp-witted young girl, lives with parents who are glued to horror films and indifferent to her emotional needs and basic care. Her questions are routinely silenced with the flat, final refrain: that's the way it is, and that's that. On a Woman's Madness. Author Astrid Romer, translated from Dutch by Lucy Scott. Quote from the book: we bury our dead within ourselves. We can also keep them alive. Everything that holds a place in our feelings stays alive. Everything we think of comes to life. It's a story of Noenka, a bold, independent woman from Suriname who refuses to conform to societal expectations. Her name, meaning never ever, is fitting because within 9 days of her marriage, she leaves her abusive husband and embarks on a journey of self-discovery. These were actually all the books which were part of the long list, although when they shortlist, they come up with 6 books, and these were the 6 shortlisted books, which I'm going to tell you a bit about. Leopard Skin Hat, author Anne Serre, translated from French by Mark Hutchinson. A quote from the book is, "It's death, in fact, that confirms to her the beauty and necessity of her former self. The terrible misunderstanding that led to her being regarded as ill when, in reality, she simply lived a rather unconventional life." So the title of the novel comes from the leopard skin hat that the character Fanny shoplifts from a store. Whenever she wears it, she seems happy and carefree. Fanny is a free-spirited woman who follows her whims, roaming unpredictably, even in the middle of the night. The narrator, a childhood friend, is deeply concerned about her well-being and watches her with a mixture of fascination and unease. It's a story about friendship, love, and mental illness. For those who enjoy literary fiction with an air of mystery, this is a must-read. Under the Eye of the Big Bird, author Hiromi Kawakami, translated from Japanese by Asa Yoneda. A quote, "In time, what will happen, and things will happen as they will." This remarkable collection of 14 interconnected stories, yet distinct, present a thought-provoking glimpse into the future. With a non-linear narrative and reminiscent of Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell, the book weaves together themes of genetic modification, artificial intelligence, and the evolving nature of motherhood and reproduction. Readers who enjoyed Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro and Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood will find this an equally compelling and imaginative exploration of these futuristic themes. Perfection. Author Vincent Latronico, translated from Italian by Sophie Hughes. A quote, "They lived a double life. There was the tangible reality around them, and there were the images also all around them." Now, this is a story of a couple compelled to lead their lives in an unrealistically tailored reality that is shaped by the demands of digital media. They work freelance jobs and have a ravishing house filled with attractive items, parties, hosting dinners, social events, documenting all these on Instagram. The descriptions are so vivid that one sees it as though scrolling through a feed. But how long can this last? The couple soon begins to feel a sense of ennui. On the Calculation of Volume, Part 1, author Solveig Balle, translated from Danish by Barbara J. Havlan. Quote, "How am I to get out of 18th of November? How did I get into it? Did I enter through the wrong door? The door of repetitions? I don't know. I look for exits. I mean, if you can get in, you must be able to get out. I think to myself." What a book. Really, I tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Can you imagine being trapped in a time loop, reliving the same day over and over again? That's exactly what happens to the protagonist of this book. She finds herself stuck on November 18th, unable to move forward to November 19th. The repetition of a single day takes a toll on her, and she struggles in both fascination and she's kind of unsettled. Is her dilemma a metaphor for the monotony of life, notes on the cyclic nature of human struggles, or perhaps an attempt to free from the time itself? Small Boat. Author Vincent Delacroix, translated from French by Helen Stevenson. A quote, "But what justice? Where is justice? Is there justice in the fact that someone lives instead of dying? That one person survives rather than doesn't, or rather than someone else?" Small Boat is a fictionalized account of a real-life tragedy that occurred on November 2021, when an inflatable dinghy carrying migrants capsized in the English Channel, resulting in the deaths of 27 people. The story is told from the perspective of a French Coast Guard radio operator who finds herself repeatedly questioned by the police in the aftermath. Finally, we have the winner, the Booker Prize winner, that is Heartlamp, the author being Banu Mushtaq, translated from Kannada by Deepa Bashti. A quote from the book, "If you were to build the world again, to create males and females again, do not be like an inexperienced potter. Come to earth as a woman, Prabhu. Be a woman once, O Lord. Heart Lamp is a powerful and a poignant collection of 12 short stories, originally written in Kannada by Banu Mushtaq, a writer, a lawyer, an activist who's part of the Bandaya movement, a progressive literary movement in Kannada literature. Deepa Bhashti's sensitive translation brings these deeply rooted, emotionally resonant stories to a wider audience without losing their cultural essence. At the heart of the collection are the lives of women and girls in a Muslim community, obedient, unquestioning, and burdened by societal expectations. These women toil endlessly within the confines of their homes, often accepting their fates without protesting, while the men remain largely unaffected by the pressures that weigh so heavily on them. Mushtaq masterfully brings out the quiet resilience of these women through stories that are both tender and thought provoking. Each tale is deeply human, capturing the injustices, sacrifices, and small hopes that define the everyday lives. From a woman yearning for a kafan sprinkled with zamzam water, to a man fixated on seeing his wife in stilettos, to a father getting a second marriage while his child lies dying in the arms of the first wife. These vignettes reflect not only on personal longing, but also the harsh social realities that shape them. One standout story for me was Gobi Manchurian, a seemingly simple tale about a man craving for this dish. What made it special was how it connected with my own memories. My grandfather used to tell me a different version of these stories using something called a koyakata. I don't know whether you've heard of it or not, because it's made in all Tamil families. I don't know, maybe it's made in Malayali families also, I'm not sure. Anyway, as Mushtaq herself notes, oral storytelling in India is a rich tradition, with tales passed down through generations, stories that live on even when they are never written down. The book is sprinkled with Kannada words like Dodama, Ajji, Ajja, Chikkappa, adding authenticity and warmth. As a person who speaks different languages, including Kannada, I found these uh, touches especially delightful. They brought the stories closer to me, and it was as though it gave me a home kind of a feeling. While many of the stories are marked by pain, abusive husbands, and distant fathers and uncaring brothers, each carries a deeper meaning. They don't just portray suffering, they spotlight resilience, voice the unspoken, and ask us to reflect on our own roles within the social fabric. Heart Lamp is a heartfelt tribute to unheard women's voices, told with sincerity and strength. It's a quiet but shining light in the contemporary Indian literature. One thing I want to tell you is that when every year, because I read all the books, 13 books, I come up with a kind of a projection as to maybe these books could win. So I this year predicted 3 books. That was, one was Heart Lamp, another one was On the Calculation of Volume, and then the other one was Small Boat. So I said, like, I'm not able to decide which one could be the winner. I said it could be any one of these 3, and Heart Lamp won. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anuradha, for giving us glimpses, yet not revealing a lot. Thank you for that. You have actually ignited the flame to search for these books and to read it. Thank you for that. Questions? The floor is open. Since nobody's starting off, I start off. How many languages do you speak, Toastmaster Anuradha?
About 6, and there are other languages which I understand pretty well, but I'm not very well versed at speaking or reading. Of course, reading, I don't read all the languages except for Hindi, English, Tamil a little bit.
Nice. When you spoke about the Heart Lamp book and you spoke about Banu Mushtaq talking about her experiences, were there anecdotes or were they just stories that were presented in the loop?
No, actually, she hasn't given any personal anecdotes. What she's written is she's written her note at the end of the book where she says that she's been influenced by a lot of cases that she'd undertaken, and apart from that, Gokul's orally told stories. So like I told you, like my grandfather actually used to tell me a story about this guy who had this longing to have a koikate. I don't know whether you know koikate.
Yeah, we know.
So he has this longing and he goes and he keeps on, he wants to go back home and tell his wife, but he forgets the word. So this is something similar to that, but it's like in a different version.
Great. Any more questions? Any more thoughts? Yes, indeed, it was a very, very novel way of presenting. Thank you very much for that. Yes, distinguished Toastmaster Preeti.
Toastmaster Anuradha, one of the book reviews was, you said that person was not able to come out of November 80.
Yeah.
what exactly was that situation? If you can just brief.
Yeah, there is a movie actually. There's a movie called, it's starting with S. Tom Hanks, he repeats the same day over and over again. It's called uh, Groundhog's Day. Okay, so if you had watched that movie, it's similar to that. What happens is she gets up every day. It's November 18th. No matter which day she gets up, it's November 18th. So she tries to tell her husband that, see, this is happening to me. But somehow something happens that it again gets back to November 18th. And he's as blank as a clean slate. So he doesn't know what has happened. So it's because she is going back to November 18th. He's moving forward. So like it seems this book is a collection of 7 books, septology, and this is only the first part. So I'm eager to know what's going to happen in the next book because she's so much stuck in November 18th. What is she actually, will she be ever getting out of this loop or not, is what I'm inquisitive about.
What is this November 18? Some incident or what it is?
She is like, see, if I tell you the whole story, then anyway, it's like, yeah, it is quite intriguing because she's an artifact collector. So she goes out to the market. Somehow, what has happened, we're unaware of. All the narrator, the author, what he's trying to tell is that the November 18 is getting repeated over and over again. It's like when she wakes up, it's again November 18th. So it's like a normal day. She goes out to the market to buy something, she comes back home. But then she tries to make it a little different so that the November 18 is different, but still the same thing happens. So it's real. It's like, see, what happens is Booker Prize, the books in the long list, many of them are very tough to read. Some of them can be very so abstract to such an extent that you might have to go back to the pages and reread it because not every book is moving ahead in a linear fashion. They can go like back and forth. They can, because 1 minute, I'll just my battery is running low. Because what happens is some books have got like Solenoid, the book that I love the most. It didn't even make it to the short list, though it's 800 plus pages. It's got a certain, it's a typical Booker, the books listed in the long list. So this book, in which the dream sequence, suddenly they talk about the dream sequence and you won't even realize whether it's dream or reality. So the line between dream and reality is totally blurred. So books are of those kind of, you have those kind of scenarios in these books, and it becomes, it's for the readers to decipher whether it is the dream or the reality.
So something in line of Drishyam. You allow the reader to think.
Yes, but some of them are bouncers, it goes above your head. So that's what I enjoy about the books listed over there, because it's not like any normal book where the story is sweet and simple and they lived happily ever after. No, nothing happens like that. It could be just one day. And this person, one book I read was about just about sleep and relaxation. This lady kept on sleeping. So I wonder what is happening. So, such things.
Interesting. You have a lot of books to review.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Anuradha, for sharing wonderful insights and encouraging us to read the books that you have recommended. We will definitely have a look, and it would be nice if you could share the presentation with Gokul so that we will get hold of at least the slide where all the 13 books are there.
No, and like if at all you want to see my other reviews, the bigger reviews, the full reviews, you can check on my Instagram page, which is Anusha at Anusha_reads.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Anuradha, for that wonderful book review.